I guess the only way to say this is, hey, national media, leave Brock Purdy alone. It is amazing how the national media has actually gleamed on to the fact that Brock Purdy threw 7 picks in 2 padded practices earlier in the week. Today's topic on the underrated media is, hey, national media, leave Brock Purdy alone. All right, I am Dave DeBaugh. Thanks so much for tuning into the Underrated Pod. We've been around for about a year now, over 1 million plus views across our shorts and our longs. So thanks for all of your support. We are going to actually kick things off today with some video from Kyle Shanahan. Let's go ahead and roll that, and I'm back with some thoughts after that.
Brock was better his second year than his first year. I think he'll be better his third year than his second year. So just going through camp, we've got through our 7-day installs. I think today was our first practice without new stuff in, and now we'll start circling back and isolating a little bit more. But Brock takes every day the same, and we put him in a bunch of positions, and can't really say enough good things about Brock.
Okay, that was Kyle Shanahan talking about how Brock Purdy has actually improved year over year. And you know, Kyle's not actually lying about that. I mean, if you go back and look at the statistics in Brock Purdy's first year as a starter in the National Football League, 67.1% completion percentage. He improved that to 69.4% last year. His quarterback rating in his first half season was 107, and last season it was 113. Yes, Brock Purdy is improving North America, and yet the national media, which actually includes somebody I really respect in one Mike Florio, is absolutely all over Brock Purdy at this point. And I have to say, it is just amazing. There's everything from the Avengers. He's got the Avengers on the team as if it's his fault for landing on a football team. Look, Brock Purdy is absolutely living in a dream world. He was the last pick. He was Mr. Irrelevant. Mr. Irrelevant in his second year in the National Football League actually led a football team to a Super Bowl. And during that Super Bowl run with the San Francisco 49ers last season, Brock Purdy threw a grand total of 1 interceptions. It's not even plural. You got to drop the S. It is ridiculous for the national media to be coming down on Brock Purdy as hard as they are for the 7 picks he threw while he was experimenting during the first couple practices of Kyle Shanahan's latest and most updated offense. Look, you put any, and I mean any quarterback in Brock Purdy's position with Kyle Shanahan's offense, especially new plays that Kyle Shanahan has drawn up, and they are probably going to struggle just a little bit. It is also about Kyle Shanahan testing Purdy to see what Purdy's actually capable of delivering. We all know that Brock Purdy's big knock is that he's a systems quarterback. But I mean, who isn't a systems quarterback? Did you know that Patrick Mahomes last season as a system quarterback threw 27 touchdowns, but he had 14 picks? Trevor Lawrence, for those of you that have been following the Underrated Pod for the past year, you know my thoughts on Trevor Lawrence. I can't believe they gave him all that money. 21 touchdowns, 14 interceptions for a quarterback rating of 88.5. Last time I checked, that is that is actually 25 points behind where Brock Purdy finished last season from a quarterback rating perspective. It is amazing to me. I mean, Josh Allen, as much as I love Josh Allen, he's so much fun to watch, as is Trevor and, of course, Patrick and Dak Prescott and a bunch of other quarterbacks in the National Football League. But Josh Allen, 29 touchdowns and a whopping 18 interceptions last season. So for Brock Purdy to actually be working on new plays that the wizard Kyle Shanahan, the black witchcraft that he's attempting to run, it's not surprising that Brock Purdy would struggle. Now, I'm sure Kyle will make some adjustments, and so will Brock. And before they get to the start of the actual season, they will have most things ironed out. At which point, if the season starts and Brock starts throwing a bunch of interceptions and starts saying that he's experimenting, then the national media, then and only then the national media should start actually coming down on Brock Purdy. Now, Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk, who I absolutely love, on Purdy's, so we're putting this up now, on Purdy's practice interceptions. It's trial and error because he's making a lot of errors when he's trying something different. That's the real concern. These experiments are blowing up in his face. 7 interceptions in the first 2 padded practices of training camp are just too damn many. Florio actually sounds like Purdy's dad, I guess, because Purdy forgot to take the trash out. You can't do that. You had to take the trash out, Brock, the night before. You can't wake up in the morning and hope to take the trash out before the trash people actually show up. Look, I know a lot of people are searching for stories about the National Football League at the beginning of training camp. I get that. But as I mentioned, this is a Kyle Shanahan offense with a variety of new wrinkles. It is not surprising that Brock Purdy might actually struggle during training camp at times. That is the point. Kyle Shanahan has certainly proved that he's a smart coach. He has certainly proved that he knows exactly what he's doing. I mean, for God's sakes, North America, he took Mr. Irrelevant and had him lead his football team to the actual Super Bowl. Now, for those people out there that actually have come down on Brock Purdy as well for being both a systems quarterback, which, as I mentioned, everybody plays in a system. It's a total non-story. Yes, Patrick Mahomes is a systems quarterback. But what Patrick Mahomes does, as does Lamar Jackson and to some degree Josh Allen, is they're able to improv at a level that a bunch of other quarterbacks in the National Football League aren't able to. I'm certainly not here saying that Brock Purdy is better than Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, or Patrick Mahomes. But for Pro Football Focus, for PFF, to roll out their rankings, it's unbelievable. They actually go out and say that Jordan Love and Trevor Lawrence are on the cusp of actually being elite quarterbacks in the National Football League. Trevor Lawrence with 14 picks is on the verge of being an elite quarterback. Anyway, so they have their top rankings, and you have to scroll all the way down to number 13 to actually find Brock Purdy. In at number 12 is Trevor Lawrence. What has Trevor Lawrence done? I mean, the only thing maybe Brock Purdy can learn from Trevor Lawrence at this point is how to secure a $55 million a year contract. Look, it's unbelievable. The disrespect of Brock Purdy in the National Football League by the actual national media. What is it about Brock Purdy that has caused so much disdain for what Brock Purdy has actually done? Look, I know he doesn't look like Josh Allen. He doesn't look like Trevor Lawrence. He doesn't play like a Patrick Mahomes. Yes, he plays it pretty safe. Yes, he normally stays within the lines of a Kyle Shanahan offense. Look, Kyle Shanahan's a smart guy. He is trying to not put Brock Purdy in positions that will prevent Brock Purdy from succeeding. And yes, if Brock Purdy was on another team, we probably would not be seeing what we are seeing. But you can't knock Brock Purdy for actually taking advantage of the job and gig he got. Brock Purdy just so happens to have Deebo Samuel. Brock Purdy just so happens to have Christian McCaffrey. Brock Purdy just so happens to have one of the best tight ends in the National Football League. Yes, Brock Purdy has a ton of talent around him, but you can't knock him for that. You actually should respect Brock Purdy for actually understanding how to actually get those Avengers involved and how to sort of, if you will, stay out of their way. All right, North America, some quick thoughts on why the national media should just, at this point, leave Brock Purdy alone. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe yet, please go ahead and subscribe. And of course, like this video. As I mentioned, 1 million plus views. So thanks for all of your support for the underrated. I am Dave DeBaugh, wishing you all a tremendous rest of your sports viewing day. To the guitar riffs we go.
You've been listening to the Underrated Podcast with Dave DeBaugh, presented by underrated.media.